Welcome to day 6 of virtual sports training camp. This is our last day, and I hope you've had a great week. Today at 10 o'clock, we are going to meet with Coach Cecila and Coach Vince for bowling. So hopefully you'll all get down your roll. Oops, you guys are gonna have to work with me on my form, I'm sure of that. So see you at the bowling alley.
Hi there, and welcome back. This is Essential 7, tip number 7, coughing. Oh boy, you're hearing a lot about coughing going on right now, aren't you? And so we want to make sure that when you realize that the force of a cough can spray germs, saliva, and even food if it's in your mouth and you're chewing at the time, up to 6 feet away. And so that's a pretty far distance. So whenever you cough, it's suggested that you cough into a bent arm. Right in here, that's the best place to do it. Don't cover your hand anymore, because then you go to say hi to someone and you shake hands or you high five, and then you're spreading germs, and that's just common sense. So cough into your bent arm like that, and then it's right in there. You can wash that shirt later, right? The germs don't end up out there on top of everybody. So that's your Essential 7. I'm trusting and hoping that these 7 tips can help you have a wonderful summer, a wonderful fall, and a great winter. That you stay very healthy, because you know what? I want to see you next year, right here at 𝗕𝗨𝗃𝗃 in 2021. I'm so excited to be back to see you at the health center, and I just pray and believe that you're going to have a wonderful, very healthy, wonderful, wonderful year. Bye-bye.
Hey guys, it's Tatiana. I miss you so much. I am so sad that camp couldn't happen this year, but I'm actually really excited for a virtual sports camp, because I feel like that's something we've never done before and we can look back at for so many years. So today we're going to be doing some warm-up exercises. So first thing, make sure you have a water bottle or Gatorade or something, because especially if you're outside, you're going to need to stay hydrated, just like we do at sports camp. I am in my apartment right now in Boston, but if I was outside, I would have even more water. Okay, so first thing we're gonna do is stand about shoulder width apart. I guess, yeah, shoulder width. You know, do the best you can. And we're gonna do some arm circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Now, keeping with the arms, we're gonna take our right arm and cross it against your chest, and then pull with your other hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, do a little shoulder roll. Other arm. I know you guys know how to do these stretches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, you can do another shoulder roll if you want. And now we are going to stand a little bit wider stance. And we're gonna try to lean this way and touch our right toes if we can. So, or our ankle. Reach and try to grab your ankle, and this is gonna stretch your obliques and your hamstrings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, that felt good. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Now we're gonna try to touch our toes. So stand, feet together, and maybe you can touch your toes. I can't touch my toes. I think it's really impressive if you can, but we're just doing this to stretch our back more and our hamstrings. So reach down and try to reach as far as you can for 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Now, we're gonna try to work on our balance a little bit. So we're gonna try, it's hard to do without a partner, so try to grab onto a wall or a table. I'm gonna grab onto my couch a little bit, and we're gonna hold our legs back. I don't know the proper name of this stretch, but you're gonna hold for 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, last thing we're gonna do for now are lunges. Stretch our legs more too. So, put one foot in front and lunge forward. And try not to let your knee touch the ground. I usually do because I don't have good core strength. And try to count for 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, and then switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Now we are all warmed up and stretched out, so we can start our sports for the day, whatever you're going to be doing. And I miss you all so much. And remember to stay positive and look forward to other things in Special Olympics and just in life, because it's all be over soon.
Hi everyone, welcome to bowling at Virtual Sports Camp. I'm Coach Cecila.
I'm Coach Vince.
I'm Zach.
Okay, I'm going to show you how to make 2 activities. The first activity, all you need is a couple of water bottles and any ball that you can find around the house. So for this one, to set up your water bottles, we're going to have some water in them, but you don't want to fill them up all the way. I have mine filled up about halfway so that they won't get blown over in the wind, but you'll still be able to knock them over with your tennis ball. One of the best ways that you can get the water that you don't need out of your water bottle is to drink it and stay hydrated. Once you have all the water gone out of your bottles, you're going to set them up in a triangle so that you can aim for the pocket, which we'll show you a demonstration of a little later. The second activity I'm going to show you how to make, some of you might remember from camp in years past. We're going to make this using some common household supplies you probably have laying around. You're going to need scissors, some tape, I'm using duct tape, and a variety of different sized containers. And make sure that whatever ball you're going to use will be able to fit inside those containers. So, I'm going to show you how to make the one that we use at camp, which I make using milk cartons. But you could also use it if you have soda bottles, juice cartons, anything you can find around the house, and you're just gonna cut it in half like I show you with the milk cartons. So, to make the one that we use at camp, you need 1 small milk container, 2 medium milk containers, and 2 big milk containers. What we're going to do is cut all of them in half, making sure that you cut below the handle. Make sure that you're careful when using the scissors, and you're just going to cut all around to get the top half off. It doesn't have to be a particularly neat line, just to make sure that you end up with the bottom half. The top half we don't need, so that can go into the recycling. I'm going to do the same thing for each of the following containers. Once you have all of your containers cut, you want to make sure that whatever ball you plan to use is going to fit inside of the smallest container that you're using. So for example, my smiley face ball doesn't fit in here very well. My tennis ball fits in perfectly, so that's the one I would use. If you have a ball that's too big to go into your smallest container, you're going to want to use a bigger container to make sure that you'll be able to roll it in there. Now, with all of your pieces, you're going to take the smallest piece and put it in the middle. You're going to take the medium ones and put it next to them, and the large ones, and they're going to go on the end. Then we're going to take our duct tape, and we're just going to tape these all together so that they stay in one line. huge piece of tape. It's just to keep them together. Just make sure that when you line up your milk cartons, that the edges are flat along the bottom, or you're gonna have a difficult time getting the ball in. I know that some containers have different bumps like this one here, so I'm just making sure that the flat edge is on the bottom before I tape it together. When you're finished taping them all together, you can flip it over and get one long piece of tape that can fit all of them, and put that right across the bottom so that they stay together. Now, you have a set of containers that are ready for bowling.
The best part about the activities that we're going to show you is that they can be done anywhere. You can do them inside or outside, do them on concrete or on grass. The only thing that you need to do is make sure that you have a relatively flat surface so that your ball will actually hit the pins. Today we're going to teach you how to do some bowling skills at home using a variety of materials and surfaces. Zach has a bocce ball. Coach Vince has a basketball. You could use a tennis ball, a squeeze ball, anything you can find at home. I want to talk to you about another very important piece of bowling equipment, your shoes. The main difference between regular shoes and bowling shoes is the bottom, or the sole. On a bowling shoe, you have a nice flat sole so that you don't get friction on the lane, so you can slide in and get really low to roll that ball. That's different from your regular shoe because they have traction so you don't slip and fall on things outside. But in bowling, that's preferred. We want you to be able to slide so that you can get right up close to that foul line and roll the ball very smoothly. Something else that you might need during bowling is a wrist guard. Now, not everybody uses these, but I need one because when I bowl, my wrist tends to bend. When I put this on, it has hard pieces of metal in here to keep my wrist straight and support it so that I don't hurt my wrist while I'm bowling, and I'm able to keep a nice smooth release. Another piece of equipment that'll help you don't need to bring. The alley provides it. When you're at the ball return, at the very end, there's a little vent that'll blow up air. You use this for your hands to keep them nice and dry so the ball doesn't slip out of your grip. Some people also carry their own bag of rosin to use for their hands to get them nice and dry and make sure that the ball doesn't slip and hurt anyone. Very briefly, I want to go over the rules of the alley and lane courtesy with you. So, rule 1, make sure that you never leave the lanes while you're wearing your bowling shoes. You don't want to get the bottom of your bowling shoe sticky because that can result in tracking it around on the lanes, on the approach where other people are, and someone could get seriously hurt. You also want to make sure that you're paying attention to the people who are next to you. If someone is bowling in the lane next to you, then you need to step back and wait and let them go first. Only one person at a time should be bowling. You don't want to have two people up next to each other because that's an easy way for someone to get injured, and it's also rude because it can distract other bowlers.
In this segment, we're just going to talk about how you would hold a bowling ball normally. I know what we're doing outside activities, but at some point, you will be ready to go to an alley and practice. So in an alley, there are 3 holes, 2 for a finger and 1 for a thumb. And you don't want to put like this. It's not the peace sign and thumb. It's your 2 middle fingers and thumb. And when you're going to pick a ball, that is as important as the weight. So when you pick a ball, this is a 16-pounder. It doesn't say it, and it's heavy. You may want one that says 8 pounds. So you can look at the weight, but the key is finding it so you can hold it like this. This is your goal. If you can't hold it like this and it slips out, then the finger holes are too big. And remember, when we're bowling, we're holding it like this, and then we pull back and we release out and follow through, as Coach Cecilia said. So again, finding one that you can slip your fingers in and out, but you can hold just like this. Now let's talk on a serious note about some bowling terms and technology and procedure. We've already talked about the rolling the ball. In bowling, we use the word frame, and that refers to you get 2 balls to knock down the 10 pins. So when you roll the first time, if you come in and knock all the pins over, that is called a strike. So it's pretty cool. Everybody jumps up and yells and screams. But in bowling, the great thing is they give you a second chance. So if on your first ball you knock 2 pins over, the machine will take those 2 pins out of the way and you get a second ball. And the ball machine will be nice to bring it back all washed and ready, and then you would ball. Then if you knock it over, that's called a spare. Now in bowling, the frame is really important because when you get a strike, you get 10 pins plus they add the next 2 balls you roll. So in bowling, the perfect score is a 300 game. They are a rare thing. I've yet to see one happen in life. So what happens is you get a strike on the first ball, that's 10 pins. You roll another strike, that is 20 pins. And that's still in your first frame count. Then you bowl a 3rd strike in a row. And by the way, if you get 2 strikes in a row, it's called a double. If you get 3, you're what Zach is, a turkey. They call it a turkey. And you'll hear all Thanksgiving jokes about turkeys. So 3 strikes in a row is a turkey. And in that frame score, that one first frame, so if you ball the strike, your first 3 balls in frame 1 will be 30 pins. Then frame 2, they will continue get 10 new pins plus the next 2 balls, and continues down. So to get a perfect game or a 300, you must get ball 12 strikes in a row. Now, when you get a spare, you get excited too, and you get rewarded. So when you get a spare, you get 10 pins, plus the amount of balls that you roll, the amount of pins you knock down when you roll your next ball. So if you get a spare that's 10, and you knock down 5 pins, then you get 15 added. So in frame 1, we had 30. And frame 2, I added my strike, and then I got a 5, so then I would have 55 in frame 2. And then for someone it slows down, but you always add for a spare the pins of your next ball. You get a strike behind it, that is the best thing, because then you count 10 pins. So that spare now counts as 20. You double your score. Now, the nice thing about today's bowling, notice it can be complicated and confusing, but almost all lanes are computerized and they do the scoring. You just type in your name, and when it'll say you go up, it will let you bowl your 1 frame, and it will score it, and it will keep track. The only other thing I forgot to mention, if you get 6 strikes in a row, it's called a 6-pack. And these are fun terms. They're not official bowling terms, but everybody wants a 6-pack, right? So we talked about rolling, and we're going to stress it and demonstrate. And I want you to try this in a minute. So in bowling, we want to not bounce. So you cannot release from here, or you're going to throw it and it's going to bounce. So you need to get low. You need to get down. So when we're practicing, you can be on an in. In bowling, many people slide into this position. We're not going to talk about step today. So here now, I can roll it just like that. So don't hesitate to sit down on a knee and roll. Oh, by the way, you know what the ball said to the pins? It said, get out of my way, I'm on a roll. So again, we just want to gently release and roll. So now we're going to have our athlete, Zach, help us demonstrate. Again, we want you to take your moment when Zach's done and try it yourself. So Zach, can you show us how you would throw it badly? how he left it high and it bounced and went all over the place? Now, Zach, show us how you can roll it. Now, Zach, can you roll it standing up too? And did you notice how he bent down and got real low when he threw it? And that's what we want you to do. So try the good stuff. Don't stand up and just throw the ball. We want to talk about aiming. So in bowling, one of the most important parts is aiming. So you're going to have the grip of the ball and you're going to look down the lane. The key in aiming is, as we look down here, is we do not want to aim just to roll over the head pin. We want to come in on what they call the pocket. So you see between the first and what they call the third pin. But just think of this pocket, this area, this gap. This is where your ball hits. If it goes in right, the rest come down perfectly. If you go over the head pin, you get this nasty looking thing called a split, and they just, So always aim for the pocket. And when we're practicing for a fun activity, we do it at camp, if some of you will remember this game, we have these milk jugs. And again, you're aiming. So the practice here is to aim and get good at aiming and hitting the target. And don't expect to hit the target the first time. Coach Cecila can tell you stories of how many times it takes me to get the ball in there. So just practice and have fun practicing. When you're lining up to release or to bowl, if you're a left-hander, you want to start on the left side of the aisle. If you're right-handed, you start on the right side. If you start in the center, then you can't hit the pocket well. You just bowl over the head pin and that gets you that evil split. So left to the left side, right to the right. As we'll see in our demonstrator, Zach's going to demonstrate. And
Beautiful.
Bingo! Started on the left, rolled it right into the pocket. Couldn't ask for better results. Zach, you started in the center, not over to the left. Zach is a left-handed. I will yell to the left. Remember, aim for the pocket right here, Zach. Third time's the charm, right? Third time. Side, half step to the left. There you go. Bingo!
Two other skills that we want to focus on when you're bowling is your release and your follow through. So when you're releasing, you want to make sure that you get low to the ground and you're rolling your ball, not dropping it, not bouncing it. A really good way to figure this out is to get a pretty bouncy ball, like a tennis ball or a basketball, and roll that. If it's bouncing, then you need to work on getting low and rolling. So for example, we don't want to see that kind of bounce. For example, that one rolled instead of bouncing. Now for your follow through, one of the most important tricks I ever learned was to think about answering the phone. So when you're bowling, you can't stop here or your ball's gonna fall short. You want to bring your arm all the way up, just like you're answering a telephone. And now Zach is going to demonstrate our second activity and show you how to work on aim, release, and follow through on this new one. Zach, go ahead.
Lower to the ground.
Remember to roll.
Oh, bad bounce because of the grass.
Woo! Now Zach is going to show you how to take the skills that we've been practicing and apply it to a target. So we're still going to be focusing on our rolling and our aiming, but you're going to be aiming into containers. So watch Zach and then try it at home yourself.
Now notice how nice and low Zach got. Now, if he rolls it a little faster, it won't curve back, and that's one of the tricks. And Zach rolled faster, but this time he started in the center instead of on his left and rolling in. We did talk about if you're left-handed, you start on the left. So we always incorporate each new skill.
I've heard.
Okay, try it one more time. Don't hurt it and throw it out there. Just roll it right down. And you got 2 out of 3. See? Perfection. Who can ask for more? Hey Zach, you know why I like bowling?
Why?
It's right up my alley. Hey Zach, I have bad news.
What?
We can't go bowling tomorrow.
Why not?
The pins are on strike. Hey Zach, I have a problem.
What?
I forgot my bowling ball. Do you have a spare? Zach, good news this time.
What?
The heli is finally working. You know what took them so long?
No.
They had problems getting the ball rolling. Hey Zach, you know why I hate to go bowling?
Why?
I always strike out with the girls. Hey Zach, what kind of cats like to go bowling?
Alley cat.
Zach, I hate bowling. My ball always ends up in the gutter. It's just how I roll. Zach, I think I've told you enough bad puns, so I'll spare you.
Do you know what excuse the bowler gave when he was accused of a crime?
Why?
I was framed! Which pirate is famous for his curveball?
Captain Hook?
You got it. Zach, do you know where Superman likes to go bowling?
Why?
At Lois Lane's.
Oh.
Do you know why bowlers are so bad at baseball?
You strike out?
They get way too many strikes. Thanks for joining us at bowling. We hope that you learned something new.
Hope you have fun, and may the good times roll on as you practice these skills.
Thanks for joining us for Sports Camp 2020. The
only year we didn't break a lane.
Lunchtime!